Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zero from Techdragon.info, and today we're gonna take a look at the Logitech G400. If you've been following Techdragon and mostly the videos, you know that I've had some issues with my mouse. My CS Storm Inferno went kinda belly up and didn't work anymore. Sent it back. After a month worth of waiting, I was basically told that it wasn't going to get fixed, and well, I had to get a new one. So I looked around and I came across this one, the Logitech G400. And after looking at some videos, some reviews, and that sort of stuff, I kind of liked this one. It sounded good, it had the features I wanted, so ta-da! So let's do a quick overview. It's optical, not laser, but it doesn't really matter. It only matters if you have like a glass surface that you want to use it on. That's basically the only advantage of the laser. It works better on any and all surfaces, but that's about it. So that doesn't really matter. We have two buttons on the side. We have an indentation here underneath it to put your thumb in. So your thumb is not resting on the ground, which would hinder your movement. It's actually resting on the mouse. Now we have the two buttons here that are both programmable, but we'll get to the software later. At the top, of course, your normal two buttons. We have a DPI reset, and you can set this default button. We have a minus DPI, plus DPI, and of course a scroll, which is also a click. And on the other side we have another sort of small indentation, but definitely not as large as the one on this side. Turn around here so you can see it. The mouse is reasonably high compared to other mice. Let's see if I can get one. This is my old mouse. Let's see, let me get that in frame. Almost. Actually, they're pretty much the same height, same size. That's probably why I like this mouse. So, that's my old one. Pretty crappy. Reason why I got rid of it. So, it's a pretty high mouse and not really great for claw grip, I guess. But for me, it situates my hand rather nicely. Your palm is a bit further to the back when you put it on, but you can reach all the buttons very comfortably, including the one in the middle here for your Dpi settings. So at least for my hands, this is pretty damn good. Of course, it has the three here, and here Teflon feet, which makes it go smooth over almost any surface, which is very important. You should watch the other video I did about gaming gear, and you'll see why it makes a huge difference if it has proper feet underneath your mouse. And I guess that's it. I mean, there's not much you can tell about the mouse itself when you're looking at it. Let's take a look at the software and see what we can do with those buttons. Okay, well, let's take a look at the software. Here you can see all the buttons that are highlighted that are on the mouse. Let's take a look. Okay, so all of these buttons are reprogrammable into whatever you want. Oh yeah, one thing, my software is in Dutch, because go figure, I speak Dutch. So sorry about that, but I'll walk you through it, so it should be easy enough to understand. Okay. Here we have all the options, what you can do. I'll go through them, well, that's clear enough. Increase DPI, decrease DPI, switch DPI, switch DPI. Not quite sure what the difference is between heighten and lower. Well, that one's obvious, but the shifting is, I'm not sure. Here we have more just regular keys. Click left, click middle, click right, copy, paste, left alt, right alt, left alt, left control, left shift, all pretty standard, paste, spacebar, standard DPI, I'll get back to that, back, forward. Okay, So these are just all your normal buttons. But there's more. You can just hit your keyboard if you want to add a key. So if we hit a U, it will add a U. Really? Yes. Then we get options for repeating it, repeating while pressing, toggle, and what the delay is in between. We get multiple keys, so we can chain a whole, slew of keys together. We can have a delay between recording. Repeating options again while pressed and toggle. Then we can have a whole text block. So with one press of a button we can put our, signature underneath a email. Just as an example, I don't know, but you can paste a whole bunch of text. Or if you want to spam chat, I guess, although I don't recommend using it for that. Mouse functions. So, let's see. Click with left, click with right, click with middle, back button, forward button, double click, raise DPI, lower DPI, shift DPI, standard DPI, and DPI chain. I'm not quite sure what that means. And scroll functions. Media. Play, pause, stop, next number, previous number, volume up, volume down, and mute. Hotkeys, close something with Alt F4. Well, I'm pretty sure you can get all these hotkeys here from these. Mouse means mouse, so that's pretty obvious as well. Copy, paste, just your normal hotkeys. And then we have the option to use shortcuts. So you can start a program by clicking on your mouse. We have functions, email, browser, media player, calculator, and this computer, and special ventrilo options. Microphone mute, push to talk. I don't know why they have a specific ventrilo one, but yeah. So you have macro support, which can technically be on every key, although I'm not quite sure if it will work on your regular mouse keys though. But definitely on everything else. One thing that when I'm looking for a mouse is I want to switch my history forward and back. I use this key for my push to talk in my voice chats. So I don't want this to constantly screw up my web page, and the forward button screws up a lot less than the back button. So that's why I always want to switch these around, and mainly because I'm used to it. One of the mice I owned, I don't know, like 3 mice ago, had it that way, and I'm just so used to it being that way. And then push to talk came along, and so I just wanted to have, be like that, my situation, the way I like it. So yeah, everything's programmable. You can open programs, you can do hotkeys. Of course, we have support for multiple profiles, so we can add a new profile and add a game to it. So, it's just your standard profile in any gaming mouse or keyboard or gamepad. Let's see. Now, we also have this. This is your DPI settings. This is the amount of DPI sensitivity levels that you want, and 5 seems to be the highest, so that's these points on the graph here. These are the different DPI settings, so you can switch them higher or lower. The polling rate, so that's basically how often does it check the sensor to see if the surface underneath the mouse has changed. I've set mine to 500. I can set it to 1000, which should make it more accurate but also more sensitive. So I can do that. We have acceleration, which increases the precision. Might as well check it. If I want different DPI for the X and Y axis, it's a pretty neat option. I've not seen that before. You can change the settings of your cursor, basically the DPI and all that, per profile, which is also pretty nice. So if you want a faster mouse in a different game, you can set it, and you want your normal profile for Windows to be, you know, not hyperactive fast and all that. Then this one, if you hit the standard, the diamond shape here, on a particular one, that will be set as your default. So if you press this button, if you set it up that way, but that's the default key binding, that will reset it to this particular DPI setting. So you can go up and down, which I'm doing on my mouse now. As you can see, it will change in the profile here. And as soon as I click the standard button, it will go back to my standard DPI, which I like. So you can mess around with your DPI and not have to worry about refining your, you know, optimal profile. No, you can just hit a button to do that, which I think is pretty nice. So I guess that's about it for this mouse. I've had it for about a week, I would say, and so far I'm really happy with it. I haven't found a perfect setting for every game yet. If you see my latest War Thunder video, you'll know that I'm not quite happy with that yet. I need to do some tweaking, probably make a separate profile for War Thunder. With slightly changed DPI settings, but I'm not quite sure yet. But for World of Tanks, for instance, it's just perfect. And if you're playing MMORPGs, excuse me, you can use, or actually any game, you can use the middle key here to bind as well. You know, click on your scroll. That's always nice to have an extra key, and that key, since I'm using that one for push to talk, so that one I can use in the game as well. Maybe for looting or just some action that you want to have handy at all times. So that's about it. Yeah, so far the mouse has been really good to me. I'll give you the raw stats here real quickly for anybody who's interested. The DPI is between 400 and 3600. The total weight of the mouse is 106 grams. Not quite sure what that is in other weight measurements. I'll put that in text on the screen here. Let's see, what else do we have? Apparently, according to this, you can click 10 million times with it before the button will give out. And you can use the feet of the mouse, so the bottom of the mouse, those Teflon feet, for 250 kilometers. That's quite a bit of sliding on your desk. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about this mouse, please leave a comment down below. I'll read all of them and I'll try to answer all of them. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, please subscribe.